Hello, sir. I'm so sorry for my lost connection and it is postponed the AMA, but can you hear me well now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I figured out the space dropped. But yeah, here we are back.
Yeah, we're back on track, everyone. We're so sorry. But I promise from now on, there's no drop, there's no lost connection. We're good to go now. Yeah, really. Okay, so we're gonna back with the introduction. Yeah, so we're in the middle of it. So I'm gonna repeat the question. So can you introduce a little bit about yourself and also a quick overview of Crust Network?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Lud. I'm the business development lead at Crust Network. Personally, I'm located in Germany, and I'm with Crust for the last 2 years. Before that, I was working also in the digital industry, in the software as a service, where I also was in touch with cloud computing, etc. And for me, it was just the next logical step to move from Web 2 to Web 3. Maybe a few words about Crust Network. Crust Network is a layer 1 blockchain and protocol built on Polkadot substrate framework. We also have already our parachain launched on the Polkadot network, but also on the Kusama network with our Crust Shadow network. Our mainnet is live since September 2021. And since then already processed more than 1.8 million storage orders, file uploads, and have at the moment around 1,600 nodes contributing their storage resources to our network, that we can provide decentralized storage services to the Polkadot ecosystem and beyond. And we also use IPFS, which is pretty much the most adopted and battle-proven distributed file storage protocol, but it doesn't come with an incentive layer, and that's exactly what Crust Network is doing, providing this incentive and service layer on top of IPFS to guarantee the persistence and decentralization of data for the user.
Wow, that's such a nice kickoff, sir. It's so interesting to get to know more about your journey with Crust Network and also a little bit more for us to understand a little bit deeper about Crust Network. And we are down to hear more. Yeah. So talking about decentralization, I believe that security is always supposed to be the priority of the project. So we're kind of curious how exactly Crust Network ensure a data privacy and security for the users?
Yeah, good question. First of all, we make sure that we have like a super high redundancy in the user data. In fact, on average, currently every data uploaded to our network enjoys around 33 replications distributed through our global network of nodes. This means that we always can guarantee the availability of the user data and accessibility, because the chance that all 33 nodes drop out at the same time by any kind of attack or by any kind of single point of failure event, like it could happen on centralized infrastructure, is very low. So that's, for example, one way we guarantee the data availability. Then security is also very important. We use different kind of protocols for that. We, for example, use a meaningful proof of work mechanism, which basically inspects the nodes in a very secure environment. We utilize TEE, Trusted Execution Environment, which is basically a secured enclaved environment within the local CPU of our nodes, where all data will be processed. And this environment actually guarantees the highest integrity for processing this data. And also afterwards, the nodes have to send work reports on-chain that we can verify all the time that the data is still available, that the data is still in its original form, is untampered, and maintained secured. And then also we obviously have different kind of mechanisms to encrypt the data from the user side. So for different kind of our products, we already implemented client-side encryption, that only the user itself can access the data. But we also work on other encryption mechanisms, for example, where we can store the key for the encryption for the user directly on chain, which would make the encryption device independent. And so we continuously try to innovate on that part as well. But I would say that's pretty much the answer to your question.
Yeah, that really is, yeah. And it's kind of relief for us to get to know more about it, how Crust Network always try to do about this one. And yeah, I think it's really good for us to know. Yeah, thank you so much. So for our next question, we're gonna talk about a little bit about a competition. And we always know the competition in this industry is always hard. So to your perspective, what are some key features that really help Crust Network stand out compared to other projects in terms of decentralized storage solutions?
Yeah, interesting question. So what Crust makes, or what does make Crust special is, on the one hand, that we are providing this service and incentive layer on top of IPFS, as already said. I would say, looking at the decentralized data in Web3, that if not 99.8% of all distributed data in Web3 is on IPFS. It's already adopted by the largest players like Uniswap, like OpenSea, Sandbox, a lot of projects that have a high data demand already use IPFS, because it's a super cool system for distributed storage system, and has already a great user base, not just in Web3 but also in Web2. For example, when you look at other competitors like Arweave, which is on-chain storage, they only have at the moment, I think, 130 terabyte of unique files stored in their network. And 130 terabyte is nothing, because just Crust alone offers an overall storage capacity of 700,000 terabytes. So the IPFS use case is very strong. And looking at the IPFS, there basically are only two protocols that provide those services. And one of them is Crust, and the other one is Filecoin, which pretty much is the most popular decentralized storage protocol, I would argue. What distinguishes us from Filecoin is that Crust has a way higher efficiency. So if we, for example, don't need any energy intensive GPU power for our mechanism, this will lead to lower operating costs of our networks and for our node operators. Our data seeding processes are way more efficient. In fact, we are 60 times quicker than what Filecoin can offer. And we also have a decentralized storage market, which basically lets every user directly interact with our services straight from their MetaMask wallet or from our Crust Web wallet, without the need to go via any kind of middleware solution like Fleek, Infura, or how they're all called. And Crust is actually also very suitable for not just the typical archiving code storage use case, but also for hot storage use cases. So we store metaverse data on Crust Network. We store website front ends on Crust Network. The front end for dApps, we do that for Uniswap, we do that for Avi, where we store their front end. And this obviously has to have high performance and needs fast retrievals, and that's something Crust can offer compared to other solutions. And last but not least, I also want to mention our interoperability layer is the most innovative on the market by far. We have cross-chain smart contracts deployed to smart contract ecosystems. We can natively interact via XCMP within the Polkadot ecosystem. We just launched our EVM compatible solution. So there are super many ways and easy ways to actually connect and leverage our services.
That's really fantastic. Yeah. And that really answers how can Crust Network have a very important standing in the community in terms of mechanism and solutions you guys offer, and how you make every effort to optimize the user journey. And that's really amazing. Yeah. So for next question, I think it's the question of a lot of listeners here today. So for example, as a user, how can I get started with Crust Network storage services on Polkadot?
Yeah, onboarding users is obviously always a big topic. We try to do that by making it as easy as possible to interact with our services. So when we're looking at our target customer, then obviously we have multiple, let's say, groups. On the one hand, we obviously have the more B2B kind of customers, which are other builders, projects that have a demand for storage because of their service, the solution they're providing, for their backups, for whatever they needed. And on the other hand, we also have the end user, which would use Crust Network maybe like they would use Dropbox or like their personal Google Drive, which also is data storage and where Crust Network can help. And for those builders and developers, we have a lot of different tools like SDKs, APIs, substrate palettes, and much more they can use to leverage our services. And for the actual end user, which doesn't necessarily interact on a code basis, we also built some end user friendly applications to showcase the ready to use of our technology and how easy it actually can be to interact with decentralized storage solutions. And one product I want to mention here is Crust Files. You can access it via crustfiles.io. It's like a decentralized Dropbox application where you can just log in with your MetaMask wallet. We enabled so much more wallets from different chains and ecosystem. I'm quite sure the ones you are using are available there as well. And you can just log in there, and we have a freemium version where you can try out, you upload your files via drag and drop, via the upload button, like you're used to from Google Drive, like you're used to from Dropbox, to make it super easy to interact with it. And then we also have other kind of products, but I don't want to go too much overboard with this question.
Wow, that's really deep and so informative. I think it's one of the things that listeners today want to hear the most. And thank you, sir, a lot. Yeah. So next, we're gonna talk about the governance mechanism. So how does governance mechanism work within Crust Network, and how exactly the community can get involved with Crust Network?
Yeah, so we do implemented our governance process, I think, last year, where we fully rolled it out. We love to involve our community, our holders, because we want to align with their ideas and their vision as well, because they're big stakeholders for us. So that's why governance is quite important to us. And we made different steps to implement that via Polka Assembly, via other governance platforms, to actually create a communication between us and among our community. We are happy for everybody who wants to get involved. We are super open for any kind of proposals people have. We definitely want to grow the participation of our community in these processes in the future as well.
Yeah, that's very interesting for all of us about, we know that you guys really open-minded about this one, and yeah, we gotta wait for more about this one. Yeah. So it's time for the good news, for the spotlight, everyone. Look, as far as we know, Crust Network has just achieved a new breakthrough, which is the EVM storage. So can you tell us more about this milestone? Anything you want to share about this one?
Yeah, sure. As you already said, it's quite a new release. I think we released it last week. We published a Medium article. If you want to read more or more specific details about it, you can find that on our Twitter feed and our Medium feed. And it's basically a totally new protocol on top of our already existing protocol, to serve the EVM ecosystem in an even more native way and to make it more attractive for EVM developers to build with our services. Already before this new protocol, we had solutions for those different ecosystems, for Ethereum, for Polygon, for Arbitrum, where we deployed our classical cross-chain smart contracts. So already before, users were able to call the Crust Storage smart contract on their Ethereum chain or on Arbitrum, but this wasn't in a totally native way, which means that we had like some kind of a semi-centralized listener solution in between that basically watched the smart contract on the other chain, picked up the orders and executed them on our chain. And this also made the parsing and indexing of the data and following up of the order a little bit tough when it came from other ecosystems. And with this new EVM protocol, we basically have now full holistic solutions for all Ethereum and layer 2 developers to finally track all their data, process their orders, do it in the totally native way, totally decentralized. And we also gonna add a lot of different features to it, like an EVM Storage Explorer, where you can just input in your transaction number from your native chain, and it gives you all information about your files and much more. And yeah, it's a super cool new protocol on top of our existing protocols, and we are happy to move this forward within the Ethereum and layer 2 communities.
Wow, it's kind of a lot of hard work and good results there, and we love it. Yeah, we definitely stay tuned to get to know more about this one in the near future. Yeah. So just curious to ask, why do you guys choose to support the EVM ecosystem? Why not others? And what do you see about this one?
Yeah, so first of all, I want to say that we are super happy within the Polkadot ecosystem. It's not that we are gonna leave Polkadot or put less priority towards our movements and developments within the Polkadot, but I feel like we already provide very good solutions for the Polkadot community via our substrate palette, via our parachains, via XCMP, which is designed to interoperate totally natively with any kind of parachains. And it's a ready-to-use product, and it's more about driving adoption within Polkadot ecosystem. And within the Ethereum community, we still wanted to have a fully native solution as well, in the same way we could offer it for the Polkadot ecosystem. And with our new EVM protocol, we have the opportunity to attract those developers. Storage is something every kind of builder, every kind of project has a demand for in some way or the other. There's no digital service, no digital product that works without storage or hosting services. And the market is huge. And looking at the developer numbers, then Polkadot is already a quite active ecosystem. But I think number one is still Ethereum. And we already had a great relationship with Ethereum and with other layer 2 solutions on top of Ethereum. For example, we also are listed as official storage solution in the Ethereum documentation. We have shared events with them, hackathons, and so more. And it's just about strengthening these relationships we already built with EVM chains. And we see there's a lot of traction, especially now with all those layer 2s popping up. And by having one holistic solution that works within the EVM ecosystem, we automatically can address so much different builders and projects than just staying within one specific ecosystem.
That's right. That's really the point. Yeah. So we kind of see that's a very good decision and for a lot of good purposes and opportunities in terms of, as you mentioned, in terms of users and in terms of solutions. Yeah, and that's really amazing. Yeah. So we'll talk about product. So now is about the Crust Cloud, your new product. So what is it exactly and how is it different from your already existing services?
Yeah, Crust Cloud is super interesting. It's another fresh release. I think yeah, it's not that fresh, but I think 1 or 2 months ago we officially released it. So there's a lot of output on our side, as you already can see, although we are in a bear market. But we keep building strong, and Crust Cloud is one of the results from it. And Crust Cloud is basically our commercial product suite on top of our protocol and infrastructure. So what we built so far, you can see as an infrastructure as a service product or service. And now we want to make it even easier to distribute those services and to manage those services. And we want to do that via a commercial product line. And that's Crust Cloud. And with Crust Cloud, we are going to introduce a very new concept, which we call Web3 storage buckets. And those Web3 storage buckets basically is an NFT, which is representing a specific storage capacity on Crust Network. So what you can do is you can go to our minting contract in our web UI. You can select your kind of bucket you want. You can say I want like 10 gigabyte, 100 gigabyte, or 1 terabyte bucket. You go through a normal minting process like you mint any other NFT. You pay for it, and afterwards you hold this NFT in your wallet. And with this NFT in your wallet, we can guarantee you access to the storage capacity you basically purchased. And you own this storage capacity in the same way like you own all your other NFTs, all your other tokens, on-chain assets with your non-custodial wallet. And this basically puts the ownership fully back in the hands of the user, and where the user is the only one in control of his data, and makes it super easy to manage his storage and his storage capacities.
That's really fantastic. So many good concepts and solutions behind it. That's why we have another question about it. So what kind of new use cases can we realize with Crust Cloud? Are there already some proof of concept?
Yeah. So the very cool thing about this actually is that for the very first time, we can make data capacities and the data within those capacities ownable like any other on-chain assets. And what do I mean with that? When we think about our normal tokens, when we think about our NFTs, our liquidity positions, even our liquid staking positions, then we always have a full proof of ownership on-chain. We can hold those assets all in our non-custodial wallet. We can transfer them between one account to the other, and if we want to, we even can trade them or exchange them on marketplaces. But for our data, this so far is not possible, because the ownership issue of user data in Web3 hasn't been tackled before. And by putting those data in form of NFTs, which we own like any other normal NFT, we basically can tokenize this data and deal with it like we do with any other kind of on-chain asset. And we, for example, work with projects within the Polkadot ecosystem. A very popular one that enjoys a lot of popularity at the moment is Grill Chat. I don't know if you heard it. It's an application built by Subsocial. It's like a chat application that works in a browser, Web3 based, and you can use it like a Telegram kind of application, and all the chat backups basically are being stored on Crust Network and in those buckets. And the next step, for example, would be user-specific buckets. When you think about decentralized social platforms, the next Instagram, where do you upload your data to? In the end, you upload your data to the platform operator, which again uses some kind of storage solution in the backend. But when we already log in with our EVM account or with our crypto account into a decentralized social platform, why can't we have our own bucket or storage capacity assigned to our EVM account, and every picture we upload, we don't upload to the platform operator who's guaranteeing and owning our data, but we upload it to our own bucket, which we own in our own non-custodial wallet. And from there, it can be displayed on the homepage on the platform. This still keeps us in full control over our data. We still have full proof of ownership that this picture is me, and I could even monetize this kind of data if I wanted to. And this opens a lot of new doors for new use cases where we really can put the data ownership in the hands of users.
Well, that's really interesting and worth experiencing, everyone. I think audience, we should start checking out about this one more. Yeah, I think it's gonna be amazing. Yeah. So it's time for us to look forward a little bit. So we're kind of curious, if it's okay, can you reveal some of the next steps of Crust Network to grow more in the future or just in the rest of 2023? Yeah, can you reveal a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So on the one hand, it's super important to drive adoption within the ecosystems we already deployed our solutions to, especially within the with our new EVM protocol. We want to drive adoption within Ethereum, within layer 2s like ZK Think, like Arbitrum, and so on. And when looking at the layer 2 landscape, obviously there are a lot of new projects on the horizon that will soon deploy their mainnet. For example, like Polygon ZK EVM, for example, Scroll, and many more, which are perfectly suitable for our EVM solution and our EVM protocol. And so on the one hand, we want to drive adoption within the ecosystems we already conquered, and drive adoption also for our new products like Crust Cloud. I think the first and second quarter we had a lot of technical output on our side, and now I would say it's time to focus on driving adoption to those solutions and services.
Yeah, that's really worth expecting for all of us. And we know that a lot of effort, gotta be made to help all of that come into play. But with Crust Network, we believe that a lot of good news coming up, and that's worth expecting. Yeah. So for the last question, I think it's kind of relaxing. Yeah, and much easier if you think so. Yeah. So if you have to say just 3 words, it can be noun or adjectives to describe how you're proud of Crust Network. So what are the words? So
what I'm proud of Crust Network, or how I would describe Crust Network in 3 words?
Whatever. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be the same. Yeah, how you proud of Crust Network, how you view Crust Network to your perspective. Yeah, all them words.
Okay. Open, community driven, and innovative.
That's lovely. Yeah, that's lovely enough, sir. Open, community driven, and community, and that's really really lovely. That's all that we can see about Crust Network as well. And yeah, we definitely wait for more from Crust Network in the future. Yeah. So it's all about the questions today, everyone. We go so far with a lot of good information about Crust Network. What are their recent spotlights and new products that we should stay focused on and pay good attention to, and also some of the steps for the future that we should stay tuned as well. And that's all very amazing. Yeah. So before we say goodbye, sir, do you have any words left or announcement left for listeners today before we say goodbye?
All I can say is, if you're a little bit scared of the complexity of decentralized storage, just try crustfiles.io. You will see it's like a Dropbox solution. You can try it out totally for free. And if there should be any builders around, I would highly recommend you to check out our technical documentation. You will find so many different use cases and example which are super valuable to you. For example, how you can host your dApp via Crust Network, how you can store your NFTs via Crust Network to keep them fully decentralized, permanent, and how you store your decentralized social content, and so much more that can be done with Crust Network. So have a look and be curious.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Lud, and to Crust Network a lot for coming and great sharings today. And also the audience, my great appreciation for all of you for stay till this time. I hope that you just got a real relaxing time with us. And I know that some of them are kind of high technical questions, answers. Maybe you haven't got it deeply yet. So if you have any questions, just do not hesitate to DM Polkadot Insider, and we're gonna have it connected to our speaker and get it back to you guys as soon as possible. And you can also play the recording as always on our Twitter page. Yeah, do not hesitate to do it. Yeah. So I think it's all about today. And thank you so much again for your understanding and also for your coming, everyone. And it's time for us to say goodbye. Say goodbye, everyone, and have a nice day.
Thanks for having us. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you, Sir.